just want to talk about, well, who is Paul Forseth? I'm a New Westminster kid. I took all my grade school here in New Westminster, my university years. But you know, trying to buy a first house in New Westminster is pretty tough. So I had to go to Surrey to buy my first house. But eventually I was able to move back to New Westminster, and I live now down at the Quay. I also, in talking about who Paul Forseth is, I was a member of Parliament for 12 years. So I know what it takes to fulfill the job, and I'm a serious candidate, a serious professional that knows all the trade-offs of family time, travel time, running between two desks and two worlds of concern, the community and also the legislative role in Ottawa. I empathize a lot with what Finn had to say about environmental responsibility, and Elizabeth May is one of my acquaintances. I got to know Elizabeth when I was our party's lead critic on the Environment Committee, and she was often a presenter representing various groups coming to give evidence at Environment Committee, so our relationship goes way back. So I believe the false image that the Conservative Party is not environmentally responsible is a false one. And I think that the Conservative Party was able, and under the leadership of the Prime Minister quite successfully, to get nations to sign on to the Copenhagen Accord. It's fine to, you know, have lots of rhetoric, but we are very cautious in not making promises that are not actually delivered. For example, when I was in Parliament, Mr. Chrétien signed on to the Kyoto Accord, but he had no intention of doing anything about it. So it was all just a signature on a piece of paper, and there was never anything that followed it up. So we're taking that lesson and saying, okay, well, let's not overpromise. It's very hard to advance the agenda of environmental responsibility from the government level, but we need individuals to take personal responsibility of their own lives also in what they buy and how they live and how they just, you know, the footprint, the personal footprint that you have in the community. The government is there to support you, for you to make more wise lifestyle choices. You know, the tanker ban on the West Coast is being maintained, and I don't see any future change in that regard. So we all want social programs. We want secure pensions. We want health care to be supported, and the federal government has made a very strong commitment that health care funding in the future negotiations after 2014 is going to be there. But how do we pay for it all? We can make hollow promises and say we need more of this and more of that. But unless we have an economy that generates the economic wealth and the revenue, promises will be just empty promises. We have to have an economy that continues to grow, to generate the wealth, to pay for the social programs that we want. That's the fundamental. And I believe at this point in time in our history, the Canadians, the Conservatives are best placed to deliver that economic recipe for growth and our future security. And unfortunately, just the way the numbers are working out in Parliament at this time, we either have a Conservative majority or we're going to have Mr. Ignatieff with some kind of a relationship with the Socialists and the Separatists, which would cause an international crisis, I believe, of confidence. The foreign investors would back off, and they would really wonder what in the world is happening to Canada, which is being so successful in leading nations coming out of the international economic crisis, and we're doing fairly well, and why spoil it? So that's a consequence of the future. We can't worry about the past, we can't change the past, but your future vote will have a ripple effect like a pebble in the pond. The waves will go out into the future, and there will be a future consequence. And we know what the consequences will be, and I think the Prime Minister is to try to outline to the nation what those future consequences are. So I hope that we will take that seriously and be responsible both in our how we live personally, that we look at carefully the footprint of environmentally our footprint, but also look at our political duty and our responsibility for the nation as a whole. And so look at the websites, look at the material, and encourage neighbors to vote. Because unfortunately only 58% of eligible voters showed up last time, and that's one thing that you can do, is to encourage people to turn up and to vote. And one thing that your elections card doesn't say when you get it from Elections Canada is that you can vote anytime. You can vote tonight, you can vote tomorrow, or you can drive by Elections Canada office and vote on Sunday afternoon if you want. to encourage you to vote at your own social convenience. Make sure you vote. Thank you very much, everybody.